Fucking give me a normal fucking. It's so funny, dude.
There you go.
Great stuff. Good stuff.
You got almond milk coming up.
Disgusting. Disgusting. It looks like the cow's puking.
Yeah,
Right,
I guess it
Marty,
should
you're gonna
come
have
out
a
of the
weird
nip.
thing. Yeah.
Right. Well, hey, it's getting weird.
Dude, hammer that in.
I'm gonna.
All right.
Jamie
Is it
Kennedy.
on?
It's on. We're rolling. You got your coffee. I got mine.
Yes.
Are you a coffee bean guy?
You can flip that around. Yeah. Am I a coffee bean? I'm whatever, but yeah, I do like a lot of coffee beans.
Yeah, because we met at Coffee Bean that one time to talk shop.
Yes.
You
we
came
did.
over on the moped, or not the moped, the Italian stallion scooter. What is it?
Vespa.
The
Which
Vespa.
coffee bean? Oh, it was my coffee bean.
Your
yeah.
coffee bean. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love coffee bean.
Yeah, you're taking your life in your own hands with that thing.
Vespa?
Yeah.
Nah.
No?
I mean, I guess, but it's like, I only ride it on the little areas.
Yeah.
I don't ride it far.
Right, just in the
Streets.
neighborhood?
Yeah, when I was in Italy, man, or France, I got to go to Nice.
Yeah. And
They
that was...
It's like, that's the best. You ride it through there on the hills.
Norman just got one, and he rides it in New York City. Like, he got a Garelli moped, and he boots around on the streets. Like,
Yeah, that's a little more
dangerous.
intense.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you know, if you ride them in the like Hollywood little back streets, it's no biggie, in my opinion.
And we met at the Comedy Bunker for the first time.
Yeah, man.
I think Rachel brought you.
Yeah, your gem.
The Gem, the show. I just remember like the texts were coming in like, is this some bullshit? Like, am I going to get killed or what? Like, I think you had come off some like not great shows and you were like, are you sure? Do you have sound? And then you came in, I think you saw Tehran. You're like, all right, I'm not going to get murdered. There's someone I know here. Let's get some coffee.
Oh, I was texting you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because come on, dude. It's
Bro.
like, yo, come do comedy at my house where I work.
Right.
In the basement of a mansion in Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
Deep in the valley. And it's like, you know, you're a guy who has this Bel Air type of mansion. I mean, like, only way I can describe it is like Rod Stewart's house in the valley. I mean, Rod Stewart like has multiple houses on his property, and you have this guy has this incredible property in the valley. Yeah. And then it's down subterranean, and he's got an amazing room that you converted into a club.
It feels like a club, right?
With tons of people. So I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But it was great.
Yeah.
You know?
You were an early advocate for the show, so thank you. You know?
It's great. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So you have like legendary status there. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Show up with
pop-ins.
Pop-ins.
I get a little plaque.
Well,
it's great because it's such a cool, you know, it's such a tight room.
Yeah.
It's a good room. And then you have just people that want to laugh. And it's just, I don't know. It's a good vibe of people, and then you have the upstairs that people want to hang out. People really want to consume the comedy.
Yeah, there was a Southland Comedy Festival in LA, and we hosted one of the after parties for it. And so there was like 200 people, and that was something we always talked about too, is like turning into more of like an after party vibe. And that was like the first time it really felt like a cool like after party. People were showing up. We kept trying to shut it down like 11:30, then people kept showing up, then 12:30, and people kept showing up. But it was great. It was fun. It was kind of like a good thing for LA to have that festival, because we don't have really like a in-town festival.
No, I think it is good. I didn't do that one, but it's good.
Yeah, you're all over.
I'm trying.
Yeah. And so we talk a lot about show business on this podcast, kind of like what it is, like what your angles are, what you do in the business. Yeah. And when we were talking at Coffee Bean, you mentioned something about you had a record deal as well.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know about it?
I do.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was in 2005 to 2006, 2007. Had it for about 2 years. At the time, you know, I want to touch on every part of the industry. You know what I mean? Because really to see if I can do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I am. I'm a Gemini, and I like to create. And so at the time, you know, I had Malibu's Most Wanted. And I had all these like kind of funny rap songs, a few of them.
Yeah.
And then I had a kid who's Canadian, Stu from Toronto. UT dot?
I'm Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vancouver.
And he was a really good rapper.
Yeah.
He's like a legit rapper, kind of like a pre-Logic. I'm not saying he's Logic, but he's very good.
Dude, half of Canada was pre-Logic.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's really...
I know like 5 guys. I'm like, if you were born 10 years later,
it's
you
so
were
true.
Logic. Yeah.
And Logic is awesome.
Oh, yeah, Logic's
I'm just
great.
saying, I've known a lot of white Jewish kids that can spit. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So he's one of them. And I'm like, dude, so I was giving him money. I'm like, I'm going to give you, like, I said, dude, your album is so good, right?
Yeah.
So he goes, I'm trying to produce it. So first I gave him 10,000. I said, I'm going to give you 10,000. I'm going to own a piece of your ass. Right? Because I knew that. I knew that deal.
Right.
And you know that deal.
Yeah.
Like if you know anything about Master P or whatever, you buy in early. So he has all this talent, but, you know, the marketing was hard.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. So he would do it, and he made like 10 really good songs, 12, 15 really good songs. And I'm like, dude, I want to rap with you, but you're a better rapper than me.
Yeah.
So let's do this. So what we did was he pretty much structured the songs. I had lines here and there. I only helped write the words.
Yeah.
And I learned all about mechanicals. The song is 50-50, split in half and half. It's for everybody out there.
Yeah. Mechanical royalties.
I know all about it. And no lawyers really know. And a music lawyer, you have to get a super, super music lawyer.
Right.
The music industry will stick it so far in your anus.
Yeah.
And people say that, but I can actually tell you how they do it. Not like most people. But it's not bad. This is what you sign up for.
Right.
And so he pretty much would structure a song. We had all these young kids, really great kids, producers from Canada, and another kid, Justin Trugman, who did some hits over here in America. And they structured it, and it was like an acting piece. He would rap a track and then go do it like that. And then, so he went and mapped out all these tracks. And so we got like 4 tracks, and I was paying for it, and we put them on MySpace.
Yeah.
He was the first guy to tell me about MySpace. And
what year is this?
we got that album deal around 05, 06.
Okay.
But the MySpace was 04. And the reason I heard about MySpace was Tom Green and him. Both Canadian. Tom Green, always the early adapter. Who's before everybody. And it was early. So MySpace had a player. And so I remember Adele popped off MySpace.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So we were...
Drake?
Yeah, Drake. So we put it up there, and it started getting play. And so we went to Canada. I was doing a comedy show, and he said, yo, I bet I can get us a show to rap. We did some local... In Toronto.
Nice.
It was like we were like... Beanie Siegel or something, like the turnout. We were just bigger in Canada.
Yeah.
So we took that video, we gave it to some a lady knows us at Warner Brothers, who's very forward thinking, Robin Bechtel, who's one of the greatest in business, who saw it off MySpace and saw, oh, these guys are popping online.
Yeah.
And boom. But very hard to get a record deal because it was comedy and rap.
Right.
It was crap. No, but it was like funny rap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was pre...
It was still in a generation of rap where you could not like poke fun at yourself.
Yeah.
Everything was so serious.
Pre-Lonely Island.
Yeah.
Pre-Party Rockers.
Yeah.
Who I would see all these guys, you know? And, but we eventually got a deal. And it was great. I got a Warner Brothers record deal. Got an okay advance.
Were you part of like the forward facing of it, or were you kind of like more behind the scenes? Like, was your picture on the cover?
That one was me and him.
You and him, yeah.
It's called Blowing Up. You can get it. It's on Spotify. It's the only rap album I ever did. But it's really him powering it with me, you know, putting it in there too. But what started as me wanting to produce him ended up us both. Now, he still does music. He does a lot of things. He's like me, but... You know, there's another kid, I forget, who bought a piece of Katy Perry after I was in studios for all the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And he bought a piece of her publishing. And I believe at that time, Bonnie McKee
Yep.
was a struggling songwriter.
Yeah.
And I just missed that window. But just to anybody out there, if you want to talk business, find a talented writer, because it's all about the catalog, and buy a piece of their ass. That's how. And there's a guy who has a piece of Katy Perry's early catalog. I forget his name, but I'm sure you know him.
I probably do know him.
And he made millions.
I mean, the thing about it, what's interesting about the way the publishing game has changed recently is that now the major publishers are more like, let's wait. Because a lot of these young guys will bring stuff around and be like, oh, we could get this guy for 50 grand now. He'll be amazing. And they're like, we'd rather buy it when it's a sure thing at 300. So they've become like more like a bank. We want a solid 25% return instead of like 50, and we might lose the whole thing.
Interesting. So
a lot of room for young people to go around if you have access to some funds and start giving people who are talented small advances.
Yeah, there is. You have to take the risk. So after I gave him that little bit of money, I gave him another $40,000, and we had this idea called Flower Pot, and I had another house in Vegas, and I put 5 girls in a house with him and a couple of producers, and there were 5 different styles of music. Country, R&B, rap, ballads, whatever. And it was Who's Gonna Grow.
Right.
And it was a reality show. Have some amazing songs. Could never sell it. I was trying to sell it to Mike Fleiss, who's my buddy who produced The Bachelor. Couldn't get it on all the way. At the time, VH1 would have been a good place. 2 things to say about that. One of the girls, her sister is younger, and I met her in your kitchen about 2 months ago at your show. Her name is Davida, was one of my artists.
Yeah.
And her sister is now on someone's label. Maybe Alex's label.
I don't think so, but someone, yeah.
Other girl is Allison Porter, who won The Voice like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So I was pre.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, if you're in the mix, it's a small scene. And when these people pop off, you're like, oh, wow. Guy. And it seems like overnight, but it's not. They've been around.
Anybody in any type of business, I believe you can buy in early. If you're an actor and you're making disposable cash like I was, 50, 100 grand, you can do a lot of damage. If you find it's like the 262 policy. Do you know what that is? Harvard. 2 business. You're going to invest in 10 things, whether it's 10 movies, 10 artists, 10 records.
Right.
10 real estate properties. 2 will completely shit the bed and take you down. 6 will kind of break even up and down. And you're hoping for 2 to go so big to keep you afloat to reinvest.
Right.
So that's kind of that. Have to do with music.
Yeah. The problem in music, what's changed is that when things pop, the money is now lower. Because like we talk about this a lot, is that you used to be able to press 10,000 copies of your own, sell it, and make 100 grand. You're like, oh yeah, I have some money I can reinvest. Now, if you get 1 million plays on Spotify, it's 5 grand. No. Yeah. So if like, you're high fiving, everyone got like and that's like before you split it up.
So 50 grand for 10, 500 grand for 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's definitely changed.
It's crazy though, but I feel like the rich, get richer. There's definitely no middle class in a lot of entertainment.
No, everyth's been hollowed out in life, really. Like winner take all. Like, you have it all, or you have nothing.
Like Ariana Grande is murdering it.
Oh yeah, touring, sponsorship deals,
like murdering it.
Yeah,
but like you're right. Like
remember the 2000s? Every week there'd be like a new Ariana Grande, and then she would be doing well, like a new young pop girl. That thing is done.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's cost so much money.
So someone like, because Spotify Decade, I was reading all that, Artist of the Decade and all that. I mean, it is a weird, I think the economics are weird in YouTube. And that's why I'm going to go to another platform.
I mean, the comedy economics are weird too. It's like you do a lot of spots for like no money, and then you try to sell a special, and then you go on tour, and then you try to make a podcast, and everything's like built around you being a great comedian, but directly doing comedy tonight doesn't really pay you.
Well, that's interesting because there was an article, I guess, I think it was, I don't know what magazine, maybe it was Vulture or something. And they said there's comics can make about $1,500 a week in town.
In New York.
I don't know, but I'm in LA and I did like 12 spots last week.
Yeah.
And one of them or two of them were weird. And I'm me.
Yeah.
And you know how much I'm around.
Yeah.
And I also am me, whatever that is. I have a name.
Yeah.
And I think I made like $1,100 doing comedy. And that's a lot.
That's a lot.
From popping in from anywhere from the Ha to the Belly Room to the Factory and that is a lot.
Yeah.
Like Town never paid. So actually Town is paying more. But Town was never supposed to pay because this is LA. This is the showcase spot. Yeah. You get up, you do 5, 10, 15. People see you. Agents come down, producers, whatever, and you leave. You build your name. You go on the road. That's where you make all your money. It's only in the last 3 years that the Town has been so consuming that money has gone up. But it's still not, what you're going to make on the road.
Yeah, it's just it's like a nice little extra for doing it. And because there's expenses. You got to drive, you got to park, all this stuff. So it's just like, it's nice cash flow for you, but it's not the way you're going to pay your bills.
No, but to say that you're going to make that every week is crazy. Yeah. And I'm like, I do very good. So it's like,
there's a lot of $50 spots in New York.
Yeah, there's a lot of $50 spots here.
Yeah.
But I never thought of ever making money at all in LA. So the fact that somebody hands me 50 or $100, that's free money.
Definitely.
But I never ever considered making money here.
Right. You told me an interesting story that was when you were starting in comedy here, you were funny and you were trying to get spots, but people were like, oh, these other guys, they get to go first because they have credits. And you're like, all right, well, I'm going to go get credits.
Yes.
And I thought that was you saw what the barrier was. You saw what you needed to surmount that barrier and you went and did that.
Yes. Do you want to know about it?
I do.
Yeah. The way you ask questions, you put it out there. Yeah, it's interesting. I would say, like, I was talking about this the other day with somebody. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I moved out here when I was 19 years old. I just knew I wanted to be in the mix. I definitely loved rap. I definitely loved acting. I definitely loved fame. I loved comedy, but I wasn't like a comedy, like I must do comedy. And I was trying to like get an agent to represent me in some way. And I would go after any open audition. I remember there was a club called World. I don't know if you remember this back in the day, way early, like 1990 it's where Buffalo Wild Wings now. It was called World.
Okay. On Hollywood?
Yeah. And it was when this song was big. Come on, let's work. Baby, when Paisley shares, so at that time, Vanilla Ice was blowing up, and it was the Music Box. Remember Music Box?
Yeah.
I saw him blow up first off of that.
Yeah,
and it was like, yo, if you were white, you had a little bit of flow, and I was like funny, so I was like, oh. So they had like open auditions for a rap contest.
Yeah.
Then there was a network called Ha, and had open auditions for funniest people on the street. That was eventually became Comedy Central.
Right.
And then there was like Drama Log for independent movies. So I was just trying to do everything.
Yeah.
And you have to wait, And I remember I got a little clip on Ha. I went pretty far in the rap audition, but didn't get it. And then people kept telling me about try comedy. And comedy was a way for me not to wait around and try to like practice my own ideas and thoughts and maybe a character in front of people. And so that's how I started it.
Yeah.
Wait, what was your question? Is that...
Well, you're talking about like you saw like a barrier that was happening at the clubs.
So then to be a good comic though, I think if you're in like Minnesota where somebody like Nick Swartzen started, it was like there was nothing there except a comedy club. So every night he would write his jokes, hone them. So when he came to LA, he had good 10, 15 minutes of murdering, of a POV from somebody from Minnesota, guys in New York or girls in New York come out and you're grinding out 10 sets a night.
Right.
I think you can get a strong voice there. You can also do it in other cities, Cleveland. So in LA, comedy is awesome. But in the beginning, for me, I was like, I wanted to just go into a club, get into the club, and be like the sweeper boy who gets to do 5 minutes and works his way up. But it was hard to do that.
Right.
And they were always saying, you got to have credits. And so I went out and did that. But when I got into the clubs, I only had like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's an interesting way to do it. But to me, I think I would have been a better comedian in the beginning had I had come up through that ranks. But I came up through acting and comedy.
Right.
But yeah, because this is LA, they wanted to fill, they
want to
names.
take that box, yeah.
Because this is the only city in the world, in New York and too, where famous people would just walk in, and just say, "Let me do 3 minutes."
Yeah, and it works.
But yeah, so there's a lot of ways you can skin the cat,
right? And only now, like, does the improv really start to have. Like the door guys and stuff get spots. I mean, the Comedy Store has always been like that.
The improv though always had Monday night auditions.
Yeah, but now they're like grooming people who work there.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Kind of like what you were looking for back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can join groundlings. You can become a doorman. You can do open mic. You can get picked by somebody and go on the road. For me, I was a big open micer. Yeah. I signed up anywhere, go anywhere. And somebody was telling me, it's like, dude, your reputation is you'll play any show and you're not scared. And that's been with me since my whole life.
Yeah. I mean, even today.
Yeah. I mean, thank you. Because you got to be able, you should be. Comedy is the art. It's not about your name, your ego, or whatever. To get good, I gotta play a room that I might bomb.
Right.
I think that's how people will like you. Also, they'll be like, this guy doesn't care.
Or just not a great room. Like, we did one together that you called me after, and you're like, what was that?
That was terrible. That was a terrible room.
Yeah.
Because it was just not set up for...
Yeah. The little things in producing a show, just tightening up the sound, focusing the audience. At the Improv, I was there recently. Do you know Ali Makovsky?
Yeah.
So she was hosting, and she's like, it was a late night show in the middle section left of the main room. Mm-hmm. So she was like talking left, talking right. And she's like, hold on, stop. We're going to make this show better. And she basically sacrificed her set to be like, you guys move here, rearranged the room, and it was better for the rest, everyone else on the way out.
That's good.
And I was like, that's someone who knows how to host.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good because you need that focused energy.
Yeah.
Make it tight.
Right.
And want people right there. That's really good.
But now when you're out, I notice this, especially at the Comedy Bunker, like people want to, like, a piece of you in a way. Like they kind of swarm you after the show and they want to talk to you. Do you find that annoying? Do you find that that's just part of being famous?
Well, comedy's changed, man. Like it's changed so much. It's like I always do this joke. I say, do you know who the cute, good-looking girl was in comedy when I started? Me. I mean, now there's just so many beautiful people.
Yeah.
Not just women, but men too.
Right.
Like comedy was a freak show.
Right.
And like I was like this cute young kid, and I was like 20, 21, and people were like, oh, and that was like, like I just didn't, make it in a boy band. So I was like, I'll do comedy, right?
Right.
But it's like now comedy is sexy, it's glorious.
Right.
And there's all these different people, and to me it's always been
it's a lot of people's first choice now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to me it's always been great.
Yeah.
But now it's like popular thing to do and stuff. And it's like, listen, and it's the art form. Anyone can do whatever they want, and people who are going to do it are going to do it. That's it. It's
how it is.
And so, I mean, and those who are going to survive are going to survive. So God damn, I lost your question. What would you say?
What did I say?
Fuck, wait, it was a good question.
People wanted a piece of you.
Oh yeah. So, I'm telling you, in town in about 2015, I started coming around again around 2016. Mm-hmm. I would do spots now and then, but LA wasn't as hot,
Right.
I think Netflix, podcasts, social media, all converged at the same time.
Yeah.
And just comedy became
the wave.
I could tell you the many waves of it, but it will take too long. But now it just became, It used to be like I could get it on TV. Why do I go to the club? Then I got the DVD. No, I would see the guy on TV. Let me see him at the club.
Yeah.
I got the DVDs. Let me follow him on tour. Mm-hmm. There's so many DVDs. I can just watch it at home. And social media somehow made us feel like we're best friends.
Right.
So now I just watched him on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I just heard him on Spotify. I just saw her on Roku. I just saw a clip on Instagram.
Yeah. I listened to the pod.
I must see her tonight.
Yeah.
So now it's like people are almost so hooked in.
Yeah.
They can't get enough, which is super consumption.
Yeah.
And
super consumption.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And so the answer to that question is yes, it's changed because that only used to be on the road, but I came off the Laugh Factory stage the other night and it was a packed show.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, I was kind of swamped.
Yeah.
You know, and it hasn't happened like that in town in a long time. And it's happening more where it happens at the Improv now.
Right.
People like want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a mini like rock star thing.
Yeah. It's like a post performance you have to do now.
Yes. And that never happened in town.
Yeah.
That happens on the road.
Right.
So now, yes, there's a fever. Is that the word?
Yeah.
So I was telling the club, I was like, geez, guys, I need a second to configure myself. I just did 30 minutes and they're like, cool. And the clubs are like, you know, and then I'll take pictures, whatever. It happens. I'm very fortunate. I'm just telling everybody out there, it's a new thing to get a little swamped in town. And it's awesome. Right. But it is surprising.
Yeah. And you have like all age demos kind of know who you are. Like we have everyone from like the older end of our crowd to the very like young girls. Everyone still knows who you are, which is great for your brand.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a beautiful time to do comedy. I was thinking about it the other day about how lucky I am. I'm going to DC this weekend to play the Comedy Loft.
Nice.
And I'm like, the hardest thing about me is taking that 5 a.m. flight.
Going east is always hard.
And I'm thinking about this. It's like I have to be annoyed because I'll have to get up for press on Friday morning. Yeah. And I'm going to have to do, AM DC, and I have to do some radio, and then I have to do local ABC news. And I'm like, God, sometimes I hate doing press. And I'm like, am I an idiot?
Right.
Like, how many people would love to be on TV?
Right. Or love to do press or love,
And it's like, I've gotten to the place where I was like, I got to get up to do the local news. And it's like, that's how far I've come. And then I checked myself. I'm like, that is a great job. Yeah. But you catch yourself in those moments. I'm not saying we don't have days where we just are over it. And I've worked hard to get to where I am. Mm-hmm. But it's funny that I was like, if that's my worst problem, I have a great life.
Yeah. It's still a job. I mean,
yeah, it is.
It's you're still working. And I mean, I heard like comedy is like, you don't get paid to be on stage. You get paid to do press. You get paid to travel and do all the stuff to get stage. Stage is the part you enjoy.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah. And you do like, to me, looking from the outside, like you're very interesting because you did well early in your career with movies, music, etc., comedy. And now I assume you're in a place where you can choose what you want to do. Like you can do comedy, you could do a movie, you could do other things, and you're choosing to do comedy because it's what you love.
Yeah, I mean, that's a multi-level question. It's like, look, I have it's like, how can I say this? I'm trying to answer that. I kind of go where what I love to do, but also who loves me. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like where you're getting the love.
Yeah. I believe that you should not go against the grain. You can, and I've done it, but like comedy has always been a place that has accepted me. Mm-hmm. Even when I was unknown, they would say, you got to wait in line for 8 hours. And I would say, and I would go in, and if I would do 4 minutes and I would get one laugh, Jamie Masada would be like, that was funny. Come wait again next week.
But like progress.
Yeah, but at least they would tell me something.
Yeah.
And then it was after my tenacity of waiting in line, or after my tenacity of, you know, going to the Improv 100 nights in a row, or, you know, hanging around the belly room. People would say, okay, this guy's serious.
Right.
And he gets a laugh every 2 sets.
Right.
So he's got something. There was enough encouragement there.
Right.
And even whenever how hot my sets were, or how hot my, you know, TV and movie career was, or how low my movie career was, I could always walk into any club.
Right.
And they would always say, hi, Jamie, would you like to go on stage?
Right.
And that's the beautiful thing about comedy.
It's kind of like this town. Someone said this. I wish I could attribute it properly, but it's like, fuck with the people who fuck with you.
Dude, I 100% where I'm at.
And that's kind of like what you do in the industry too.
I'm almost 50 years old, and I can't tell you that more. Comedy has always been loving to me, and I will always respect it. I will always respect the community, and I will always respect the people in it. And that's I do it because I've always been doing it, but I'm doing it more now than ever because I'm getting better at it.
Right.
People are demanding me to do it, and it's keeping me so goddamn busy. Do I have a movie I want to make? Yeah, I'm trying to make that too.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it's hard to raise, you know, financing.
It's 18-month process.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also, did I just do a movie? Yeah, I just did a nice little movie for 3 weeks in New Jersey. Did I do a movie before that? Sure. So I can pick. There are certain things you want that you don't get.
Right.
And then there's like, but I like, do I have offers for little things? Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not like getting like the choices of the super choices, but I'm getting nice choices.
Yeah.
But to me, comedy lets me be who I am.
Right.
No one to blame except me.
Right.
I can express everything I want. And quite frankly, I can put it out where I want. If I don't get on Netflix or Showtime or other places, I can just put it out through YouTube or other places. And that's my voice. And if you don't like it, I'm to blame. Or if you love it, I'm going to take the responsibility.
Right. So I'm paraphrasing, but Neil Brennan said like, so I get more enjoyment sometimes out of making an Instagram video than I do like shooting this whole thing. Because it's like, this is me. I can do it as I want. It's exactly my voice. I don't have to talk to anybody. I just put it out. And that's enjoyment.
Dude, before I get over here, you know, there's a very big streamer, I'm not going to say their name, who might be passing on my new special.
Okay.
And it didn't even really bum me out.
The one you shot at the Rec Room?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, you know,
I was there. It was great.
I'm really proud about it.
Yeah.
And look, it's not dead yet. There's other ways to skin the cat.
Yeah.
But I'm not interested in some kid fresh out of, you know, Sarah Lawrence or Brown to tell me why they don't want my special.
Right.
I'm in the fucking shit, my man. Every goddamn week from Poughkeepsie all the way down to fucking Naples.
Right.
I'm in fucking Alaska and I'm in fucking Saudi Arabia. I've been to fucking 6 countries since July.
Right.
I know what's out there.
Yeah.
And these people are on the nipple of a big corporation.
Yeah.
They don't understand. So if they don't want it, that's okay. But
sometimes it's more than okay because we're trained in this town to go around asking for their approval.
No, I don't.
But you don't need their approval.
I know. And
if you don't need their money, especially.
I don't. Right. And it's like, it's not about that. It's about the exposure. But I think we've hit in this beautiful all roads collide moment now, or converge, where we really don't need the big media. And
look at Schultz.
Yes, Andrew Schultz is a beautiful example of this. But it's like, that's where I'm at. I mean, the clubs fuck with me. You know, the colleges, some of them still fuck with me.
Yeah.
I just got an offer for a corporate this morning in my DMs.
Right.
You know, so it's like there's people like you that are entrepreneurs. So I tell anybody, it's okay. I'm going to keep doing my thing.
Right.
And as long as I can get on stages, I'm good. So I don't, you know, you always want to get everyone's blessing, but you don't have to. And it's honestly, I feel, like out of 100, I'm like 4% affected. Yeah. Because there is so many ways to do it. And if anyone's listening to that, that's what I would say now. You really don't need to get the approval of anyone. The gatekeepers, the walls are knocked down.
Right. Yeah, especially because you're bringing them a content that's like, it's going to be funny, it's going to be shot well, all that stuff. And yeah, it would be nice sometimes to get the approval and the ultimate push in the ideal world, but we don't live in an ideal world anymore. We live in a world that's entrepreneurial and do it yourself.
You have to.
And then you're free to chop it up, bite size it. You could do the audio album tied to it as well.
I got to say that on the corporations and pay, and then I got to go to the Laugh Factory. I gotta, the Laugh Factory shoots these great bits, right?
The caption on their site.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, it makes people's like pops,
bro. So they got these 2 bits, and they have bits that I wanted to do on my next special.
Yeah.
But like, I think like it changes every day, and I'm like, and I credit Andrew Schultz for a lot of this. His TED Talk was great, and it's so true. It's like, our consumption is not an hour. Our consumption is 10 minutes. It's getting less. It's going to be 8 minutes. And so the factory's like, yo, can we take these two bits?
Yeah.
Man, they put 1 bit up. It's blowing up. I have people telling me how much they love that bit. So to me, the Laugh Factory is a distribution platform. And I am so grateful. As a 500,000 views.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit that I don't get any money or whatever. I get a couple of cents. It's not about the money. It's about the exposure.
Right.
It's about the people going, damn, Jamie Kennedy has this bit.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
And that's his bit.
Right.
And people think they'll come out. You know what I mean? It's about marketing. It's about them, stamping that moment. And I can't wait for them to put out the next one. And I wanted to say something. That's the new world. You don't have to wait.
Right.
And we can't wait. No. We have to go now. You come up with an idea, you got to put it out there. Yeah. You might not get paid, but you have to just put it out there so people know you do it. Yeah. And because we're consuming more and more and more because we have more time and more access to it, and we want to constantly consume. That's our brain. And I think that there's something. You just got me off tangent, but it's going to make sense. Is what's fucked up about our business, dude? And it's about the world. This is going to go down, so stay with me. Is salaries. Now stay with me for a minute. Salaries, bro. They fuck people up. Okay, stay with me. There's so many people complaining about salaries, and they're marching, and they're this and that. And I'm not saying there's not corporate greed.
You mean like minimum wage and stuff? Or?
I'm talking about, let's just say in the business, right? A lot of people in our business who are on a big corporation would not be able to make money without that corporation.
Correct.
So you and I are entrepreneurs, okay? I don't have another job. I've been doing this since I'm 23 years old. And before that, all I did was just survive from couch to gig to couch to gig.
Right.
A lot of these people don't take that risk. So they make decisions on creative people's ideas from a cushy place.
Right.
And so I think there's a lot of disparity. People think in the pay structure of things. But I always think that if people want to take the risk like artists, they would find their decisions would be informed more like an artist because we don't get salaries.
Right.
We only eat what we kill. And if we don't catch what we kill, we starve.
Right.
And so imagine being all these desperate hunters and gatherers on one side, trying to get the approval of all the fat kings on the other side. That's why it's fucked up.
Right.
But that's why it's changing, because we're like, we don't want to deal with your bullshit anymore.
Right. Especially if you're going to lower the amount of money you're giving, which has happened as well.
Yes.
So now, like, a lot of showbiz was like, here's a bunch of money, and now you have to do what we say. But now they're like, here's a tiny bit of money, do what we say, and people are like,
fuck you! I don't want it. I didn't even want it with your big money.
Right.
But dude, you know what's crazy is like, oh God, it's so true. It's I forgot what I was gonna say. It's so true though.
Yeah.
It's like, I forget what I was gonna say. Fuck.
Yeah, but the salary is, it is. It also is. It's hard to.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. It's the way the money is now is different, but it's there. Like we're talking about Ariana Grande. I believe you prove it. The money is real by proving it. So everything it's not there totally, but it should be, is transparent.
Yeah.
So it used to be, you know, if I would go to a college, I would make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was that earned money? Maybe not. Or maybe, right? But if 4,000 people showed up in the hall and it's a free show to students and it's part of their spring fling and and they have $150,000 and I'm one show and a magician's another and then Ludacris is headlining.
Yeah.
That's their budget. No, that's a real show. I've done that.
Did that happen?
Yeah, that happens all the time. It's spring fling. Right?
I want to go see you, a magician, and Ludacris tomorrow.
Right? Yeah. So the colleges have just this slush fund.
Right.
But it's not real money. I didn't sell 4,000 tickets, right?
Right.
But I sold 118 tickets in Peoria a couple of weeks ago at $23.
Yeah.
That's real money. So I think things are more real now. And if you prove it, well, you don't need them because you're just saying, I can go right to the club owner and I'm going to say, I'm going to take this Wednesday.
Right.
You have 275 tickets. I'm going to take 90% of the door. All I want you to do is let me have that. I'll give you 10.
Right.
And give you 2 drink minimum. And you give me no money. And the guy will go, yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's real.
Right.
Because they came because of me.
Right.
The club was closed Wednesday. And that's where we're at right now. There's no more free money.
Yeah, no more free rides.
Yes.
Because you have to bring your audience and
because money is because things are being cut.
Yeah,
everywhere.
and everyone's smarter. The clubs are smarter. The audiences are smarter. Like, hey, well, we could go see this guy we know, or not this guy. They know more about comedy from the Pods, the Rogans, etc.
Yes,
and everything is more transparent. Even music, like streams, you can go. At Benji Grinberg, he was the CEO of Rostrum with Wiz Khalifa and stuff. He was on here last, and we were talking about how Spotify shows the numbers, so you can go to anyone's album and say, like, oh, this is how much they stream.
Yes,
and which is a great thing.
I love that.
And what if it was gone?
See, here, I love that. I talked to a very big producer. I'm not going to name his name.
Yeah.
Who's huge, and he doesn't want the transparency because the amount of money he makes every week on his shows is Nielsen, which is beyond outdated. Because he's going, maybe they'll realize that my audience is, 23-year-old millennials that don't have the income. Right now, they may think it's 40-year-old.
I see.
So Nielsen doesn't really drill down. But to me, there's a lot of people that have an audience that don't have big Nielsen numbers that have passionate fans. It's the Pixie Britney argument.
Yeah.
They might not be as big as Britney Spears, but the Pixies fans are insanely passionate.
Yeah, or Pearl Jam.
So it's like... Exactly. If you prove it, it's Dave Matthews. He didn't get the big mainstream play.
Right.
He's massive. So I love that Spotify does that.
Yeah. I'm
all about that.
Yeah. And there's enough room for everyone to survive now. I love that, like, people 100%. Like Rogan always says, go start a podcast or like do that. Like, or people are like, oh, it's too late. It's never too late. There's enough room for everything.
Yes.
And as long as it's good and the good stuff stands out, it may feel like you're not making any progress in the early days, especially with music. You release a song, doesn't do much. But when that 10th song pops and you have a catalog of other dope shit, then you have something. Going viral is like 10 years ago. It's all about consistency and like making sure you keep delivering over and over and over. Things can still go viral, but it's not like it's just going to happen and pop off of one clip.
Okay, so let me ask you about this.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking and I have mixed emotions about that because I don't... So because to me, if you love it, you'll just do it, right?
Yeah.
And the money will follow. But to me, sometimes it's costing me money to do certain in a startup where I could be making money doing a job that I don't like as much,
right?
But I'll be making more money.
Yeah.
But I want to believe the consistency thing.
Yeah.
So, I guess to the young, for me, I like that, but it gets annoying because sometimes I feel like I have to put in a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But to start getting it, but you're saying the viral thing of just popping is not the way to do it now.
It's not that it's not the way to do it, just the chances of it decrease over time as more stuff is available on the internet.
Yes.
Like it used to be, oh, look, Kat, you touched a piano key and oh my God, that's insane. And now it's like, all right, we've seen all that stuff, or like we've seen... and especially nowadays, like people are very kind of like constrained about what they want to say and stuff. You're not going to say something outlandish and go viral. Or if you go viral, it's in a negative way usually.
I believe that you can set your life up where you can make a living doing something in this space.
Yeah.
At a modest way, and then you can grow it. But I do agree with you that you can, because all the tools are there.
Right.
And I do agree that I don't believe that content consumption has ever actually even really started. I still think we're on the down end of the curve, because people don't realize that Uber is going to be everywhere, self-driving. They're going to put TVs in those cars. Mm-hmm. We're pretty much always on our phone, but there's going to be TVs in every restaurant. It's not going to stop. So, and it's also going to open up to other countries.
Right.
So I believe that the content explosion hasn't even hit yet.
No, like you never really know until after the fact which inning you are in the baseball game. You know? We could be in like inning 2 right now. It's kind of like a stock market bubble. It's like it's like no one knows until it pops, like where they were in it. Oh yeah, it was obvious. Oh, everyone's like, oh, obviously it popped on that day and I sold. They're like, yeah, right, you did. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone always knows everything after the fact, but right now we don't really know. Like, is comedy saturated on the streaming platforms? We don't know. Are we in a comedy bubble? We don't really know.
I don't know. I've talked to some, legends, and they said it's never been hotter. Guys who lived through the 80s, and I feel that it's been going for at least 4.5 years strong.
Yeah.
And I feel that the way the world is, comedy is the greatest arbiter right now. It's the last line of
free speech
of honesty. So, and I don't think our world's going to get less polarized. So I think there's a need for us. And I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon.
And more people get regular jobs. More and more people want to see the arts and be part of it. And as because a lot of the world is still coming into like middle class and jobs and
something you don't realize.
Because we're over here, so it seems like everyone except for
But there's people in living in hard worlds and down.
I mean, there's people here living.
Yeah, they are. There are.
But like they know about what's going on. Maybe, who knows?
There's some countries where Scream hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, my parents are in Morocco, and they always text me. They're like, "Hey, like comedy's big here now too. Like comedy's
they live there?
No, they're just visiting. My dad's Moroccan, and so he's from there. And they talk about how like comedy's big and it's blowing
bizarre.
Up. It's like whoa, yeah,
it's bizarre. Somebody told me that comedy was big in like Eastern Europe. Like Prague is like doing comedy.
Yeah.
It's just like you go to the castle. There's an old guillotine. I don't know what's the jokes like. What the
they
fuck?
had the Netflix comedians of the world. Even like, I mean, I only got through the American and Canadian ones, but the I'm sure the rest of them are funny too. They're and that's the thing. Netflix is a global platform too, so sometimes they're looking at things and content in a way we're not like. Oh, this might be good for America, but they're thinking globally, etc. Blah blah blah.
It's so smart.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
We talk a lot about goals on the pod, and a lot of people come in and be like, "Oh, I want to achieve these 3 things. Like, I want to do late night this and this year." And someone from your position, what are some of the things that motivate you? Do you have like a little board on your mirror? You're like, "Oh shit, I gotta do this, or I gotta call this person, or I gotta get a special, or I gotta edit my special." Or
I still have all that stuff, but you know what, dude? It's weird to say this. I do have goals, but nothing is like murdering me. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like, I basically really, obviously, I would like to get some sort of, you want to get some kind of award,
right?
Or some type of, nomination or something like that. So you feel like you're getting, you're
not just spinning your wheels
from the community, but you can't really plan on that.
Right.
You have to. So to me, my goal is to just become autonomous. It's really like creating my platform in a way that I'm getting my content out to my fans. It's kind of like that's my goal. I'm kind of doing it. Like, I want to create my own things and I want to put it out my way. And
you have a pod?
I have a pod. I'm relaunching it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I have that. But I'm also might be doing something with Roku.
Oh, great.
And I think that Roku is the new way because I don't think the money is correct on YouTube. So let me explain this to people. YouTube is the distribution platform. So Latif makes a funny cat video.
Mm-hmm. Again,
Latif puts his cat video on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube says, "Oh, dude, we got Pepsi. They liked your cat video.
Yeah.
And your CPM is 7 CPM. But Pepsi may have given YouTube 16 and said, Latif, it was 7. People don't realize that. So it's not really that transparent. The amount of views you get, I was thinking, put it this way. We should talk real numbers here. Mm-hmm. For executive producing, creating, writing, and acting in the Jamie Kennedy Experiment, which, was, I've talked to other actors. It was one of my favorite things I've ever done.
Yeah.
And it was labor intensive, meaning that I would get up 5 a.m., 4 hours in makeup, which is intense, do a prank with 4 people, get hollered at by 4 people, have lunch, change characters, another 2 hours, do another prank. I would do that 3 days a week. Then I edit the next day, another prank, edit, another prank. Then on a Saturday, we would do the tape, play it back. Compare that to a sitcom or a 1-hour drama. It's all beautiful, but it's pretty labor intensive. I was getting about 2.1 million viewers a week. For all of that, I was making a lot of money. I was making $52.5 a week. I'm not scared to share numbers with people because they should know.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, it's not as much as some other people on other shows.
Right.
A person who gets 10 million views on YouTube makes what? $7,000? That's ridiculous.
It's a different game.
10 million views is 4 times my views. And net they're making $7,000.
Right.
If that.
Well, they're selling a lot more profitable ads on the Jamie Kennedy Experiment for that 2.1 million. And you own that channel during that time slot. So like the thing about there's like infinite amount of things that can be watched simultaneously. I'm not arguing that it's fair.
I don't know if I was overpaid. I don't know if I was underpaid. But I feel that if you're getting millions of views, that should be comparable to the television ad. And if it's not, I need to read why it's not.
Right. Yeah. But imagine the answer is something along the lines of the ads they're selling are not the same dollar that they were selling for. Like it was a VH1 show? Right, MTV?
WB.
WB. So the WB was able to sell a greater dollar amount of ads versus YouTube. I don't know that for sure.
But it might have been arbitrary, meaning that's what their number they paid and that's what the advertisers paid.
Yeah. Look, a lot of this game is like, we know this, you know that.
That's what I'm saying, but it's becoming much more transparent.
Yeah.
So
but it's still like...
I think that Roku is going to change the game, and I think it's very transparent, and I think they're going to pay more money. Because I just think that YouTube is like, it's just, come on, man. There's just not enough money being paid out.
No, I mean, if you have a profitable channel in its entirety, I mean, you always hear about something with a YouTuber. It's like, oh, they changed something and now my money went down or went up or this and that. So you're always at the behest of the platform. The platform could wake up and be like, we're getting rid of ads. We're not paying anyone. Sorry.
Yeah. The platform could say, you just said something that's hate speech. You're like, well, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is I think we have to have a completely non-biased platform, whatever that is going to be. Because again, even though YouTube is pretty independent, you're still at the behest of that. Right. The only real platform is out of like the Netherlands, where you get on their IP, and they don't care what you put out, and you create your own paywall.
Oh, interesting.
I forget what it's called, but people who are deplatformed use that. Because that's the only thing that's not deplatformable are the actual pipes to deliver the content.
And or unless you host your own site or something.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. Because people can just say, we don't like you.
That's why email is still so powerful. Like as a promotional platform. Like I had Shang Forbes, Shang Forbes? Yeah. So he was on a couple pods ago and he talked about, he has this huge, like millions of people email list. And that's like one of his competitive advantages because he has it segmented by different cities and stuff like that. And nobody can take that away from him.
No.
you know, because it's email, it's direct, it goes through him. And that's one of the, like Instagram, they could change. Like if you put a post on Instagram, I don't necessarily see it the same as all your other fans. It's going to be depending on like what I liked before, etc.
Yeah.
It's not a natural feed, it's algorithmic.
I know.
It's like if me and you both search Google, we'll get different results, which is also crazy, depending on our search history.
Damn, that's right.
Yeah, so we could both search purple shirt, and I'll get one with a collar, and you won't, or whatever. Like depending on our needs or our previous searches.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you use that when you're on the road, emails and collect?
I do, dude. There's a lot because a lot of emails go belly up, and people don't like to be bombarded and spammed. I mean, if it works, it's great. It's never really worked for me. I don't know how to. That's the number one thing I have a problem with. The social media and the marketing is the number one thing. I've always just thought if I make great stuff, people will find it, and it's very hard. And that's what I'm kind of trying to skin the cat now. But I do feel that we're in this connected type of universe where I'm doing more of these and different people, and I do believe you're tentacle here, tentacle there, and you just kind of bounce around from platform to platform. That enough people will see you that you have to, then you'll start building your own. But I've never been able to skin that cat.
Do you have someone that helps you on the social media side, or you do it all yourself?
A little. I've had different people, and they've always overpromised and underdelivered. I've had at least 4 teams, and they all stink.
Yeah.
They stink. And so now if anyone's listening to this, prove your worth, you'll make money with me. Because I want somebody that goes in there together. I don't want somebody on a fucking monthly salary. I want somebody that prove it. Get that fucking view and take a cut.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. A lot of these people don't. They want a salary because they can't fucking prove it. And it's bullshit. And it pisses me the fuck off. How do I really feel?
Right. So you had a couple, was it a professional team or just individuals or both?
I've had it all. I've had companies, it's bullshit. I've had individuals, which were bullshit. I like a hacker. I need a hacker because it's bullshit, dude. I'm not paying you a monthly. Prove it. Put the fucking asses in the seats. I've never had one people tell me, oh, because of this and what this team did. You know what? I've had people come up. I saw you on Tiger Belly.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Lee. I saw you on
Santino.
Theo Von's cast. Yeah. I saw you on Santino's cast. I've had more people come up to me after shows that they've seen me on podcasts.
Yeah.
Or Malibu's or stuff than any marketing.
Right.
And so that says a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, no, these companies, it's bullshit. Because if it wasn't bullshit, do not take a salary. This is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. People want salaries for trying.
Right.
I want to pay you for results. I can't tell you this. Let me tell you this again. I cannot stress this. Do you know what a publicist charges you?
I was just going to go into publicists.
Publicists are bull fucking shit.
Here's what $5,000 at least a month.
Well, $3,500, right?
Yeah.
They won't tell you when to go off the nipple. That means they'll always hit you up every month, right? And so you'll spend, let's just say $45,000 a year. And let's say you only need publicity for 4 or 5 months out of the year. But they still have you on because they say, well, what happens if something happens in the press and you'll need us? We have to be on call. Okay. So you have to actively take yourself off of it.
Right.
But, dude, they try. That there's no guarantees they're going to get you in Us Weekly. There's no guarantees they're going to get you in Perez. There's no guarantees they're going to get you on Ellen.
Yeah.
You're paying for a try. That's not good enough. It never was, but for some reason we blessed it. No one pays.
We blessed it when it was a third part. Like,
bro,
you're assigned to them and other person's paying them.
No one pays me to audition.
Right.
No one pays me to fucking hopefully sell.
Right.
No, it's bullshit. And this is what I'm saying. There's a disparity between the people out there doing the art and hoping to get in and the people pushing the art.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm at my wit's end with it. And it's actually a good time to talk about it because it's, there's still people that are hanging on the nipple corporate wise. And they need to realize that jobs are going to go away because belts are constricting. You know, there's a lot of more machine learning that's going to take a lot of jobs, and people are going to be like, yo, dude, what the fuck? And then people are going to have to fucking learn how to deal with it.
Right.
Like I've been doing for 30 years.
Yeah.
Which I chose to.
Paying a publicist is a large expense. And when you're tied to like a large movie or something and a third party is paying them and you don't really see it.
Totally.
That happens a lot. And, they need those old line media publications more than like the individual does. Like a Quentin Tarantino movie needs to be in all these places, in the regular press,
100%.
in this.
Because that's an Oscar caliber.
Right, that's $100 million plus project.
No, 100%. But to tell me that
you need to spend $50,000 a year for maybe results.
No, but to tell me that Logan Paul needs a publicist when he sold out Staples for a boxing match.
Right.
And I didn't even know he was a boxer. Right? Mm-hmm. That just disrupted so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
Absolutely.
So, yes, there's a value in trying to get a piece in Vanity Fair. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's being blessed by the old guard.
Right.
And the considered respectable guard.
Yeah.
But I also want to sit with coffee with Logan Paul and ask him how he does it.
Right.
So I think there's a best in both worlds. And I think Kevin Hart is, a prime example of that.
Right.
He does it both. But to act like, we have to wait for you to bless me is just not real anymore.
It's old line.
Yeah.
I always think about those billboards I'm driving down and like how billboards are becoming more valuable in this attention deficit. We're on our phone thing. Like the board is there. Like we're driving by, we're seeing it. And I always remember those times like working with artists where like they just wanted their face on the board. Like irrespective, like that during their like launch, if they could drive by and see their like, all right, that's even though it wasn't a good use of money, you know what I mean?
Dude, that is so true. Like, dude, but if you look at it, you know what's crazy about that? I'll tell you two things.
And it's also like an ad for other people in the industry. It's like, look what we're doing.
Yeah, dude, you're so right. It's realized when you think someone's blowing up, they're only blowing up in LA and New York because they don't have those billboards in middle America.
Right.
And people don't realize it. It is a vanity play.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny. So like Malibu's Most Wanted wasn't considered a huge hit. And I remember on Hollywood and Highland, I got a billboard on the side of it, but it was like on the side of Highland where you had to come down and there were the flags that came off of the side of Hollywood and Highland. There wasn't like a proper billboard, but I had one of them and I was like, yeah, but it wasn't your typical billboard above a building. And then for like Son of the Mask, I was in New York, but I was like behind the subway.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, but I was like, yeah, kind of, right? But like, the good or bad, those movies, like, at least Malibu's has made, well, Son of the Mask too in a bad way has made a mark, but Malibu's has delegated itself, was that the word, and the culture where it never got that push, right? Where other people had huge billboards and you never hear the movie again. So I think about like that and how one of my best billboards ever was right around the corner from your house, which is a thing that you want as a little victory, is Hallmark.
Yeah.
I did a Hallmark movie and I had that billboard on the side of the hill across from Jerry's Deli.
Okay.
And that was like a big thing. It was like my face on Ventura.
Yeah.
Does anyone hear of the movie? No.
Yeah.
Did it do anything for my career? No.
Yeah.
But I got a billboard.
Yeah.
So it's like, exactly, like what's for your ego and what's effective.
Right.
But that...
But there is like... I feel like if you could buy all the billboards and just sit on them over time, that's going to be worth something because.
Oh, fuck yeah. If you're the only person on there.
Not even just buying them as a business play and like owning billboards is going to become more valuable over time.
Yeah.
Because you can't swipe away a billboard. It's there. It's in your face.
Yeah.
And if you're owning them on the highway.
You know what's interesting too? You're right. These digital billboards, like, you know how lucky I am?
That's how they'll get you. You'll drive by and you'll see something and you'll see something else.
Well, no, the digital ones, like, dude, the Factory and the Improv, man, they have these digital billboards now, and it's like one's on Melrose and one's on Sunset.
Yeah.
And I'm on that every week. That's a big move.
Oh, yeah.
That is like, it may not be in a movie, but that's a big move. It's like you're passing right by the chateau.
Yeah.
And it's this big ass sign.
Right.
So that's we think it's just local, but it is just local, but everyone sees it.
Yeah, and it draws traffic. I mean, those clubs, when you see that, especially the Laugh Factory, like right on Sunset there.
And Laurel.
perfect prime location.
Yeah.
If you're coming to LA, you're like, oh, we're going here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know him. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is all this stuff is why I'm ranting. It's just because it's like you hit me at a good time. I'm a little had my coffee with no cream, but it's actually a beautiful time. I only get worked up because you really don't need, to anyone listening, I don't know what your podcast is for, either for you just to build your brand, or it seems like it's also a helpful platform.
Yeah. We talked about it last time. Like, I guess the ideal, like, audience building podcast is if I had no guests and it was either just me or with somebody else. But this is what I like to do.
Yeah.
And I want, I'm interested in business. I've been in show business my whole life.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do what I like. And if it grows this way or whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's doing well so far, which is great.
And I want to let your listeners know, because it seems like you like to have people informed, that you don't need to be blessed.
Yeah.
You can literally, anyone asks me how you're going to do it, it's like you're doing it.
Yeah.
Get a YouTube channel. Get your Instagram, get your Twitter. If you don't like Facebook, whatever, everyone has their information anyway. It's up to you. But just slowly make your content.
Yeah.
That's and that's how I would say it. I mean, that's what I want to do now.
Yeah.
I would much rather try to make something that I like and put it. People don't realize that Roku, there's 385 million people in America. That's just America. Smart TVs are on 49% of that. Now, smart TV is a TV with the button. Roku is on about 50% of that. So Roku is basically a cable outlet, right? So if you can get your stuff on Roku, which is doable, you're in homes.
So they have their own app?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
And that's what I'm into. I'm into doing that type of stuff.
Right.
If I can get on your device, whether it's in your hand, or in your TV. Dude, I watched the Super Bowl. Guess where I watched it? On my iPad.
Nice.
Did I give a fuck? No.
Right.
I
watched it on my Apple TV.
I did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
I was coming from the airport, and then I was at home. I still watched it on my iPad.
Yeah.
I was doing shit. It was great.
Yeah.
I could give 3 fucks. So if I could get in front of you, your kids do not give a fuck about, they like a big TV.
Yeah.
If they're consuming on their phone,
it doesn't make no difference.
They don't care if they're on the subway and Jerry's, wherever. So all you have to do is get on those devices.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about. And how you do it this is what we're talking about. But you just don't need to be blessed by ABC anymore. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, we grew up being like, oh, parents approve us. Oh, teachers in school approve us. And then we come to Hollywood and we're like, oh, approve us. And so we keep looking for approval.
Yes.
Even though it's all has to come from within.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think that's a great place to wrap it up, Jamie.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for coming. Where can people find you?
Go on at Jamie Kennedy on Twitter, Jamie Kennedy Facebook, the Jamie Kennedy Instagram. It's all a blue check mark. Not to sound like an a-hole, but it's easier to find.
He's got a blue check mark. He's all around town, all around the country. YouTube. At the Comedy Bunker soon, maybe.
Yeah, dude, I love your room. One of the greatest.
And thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, man.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.